All right, chat. Let's do it. Red, white, fire. So, Fires of Invention here, key card in our archetype. Whenever you cannot cast spells on your opponent's turn, you can only cast 2 cards per turn. You may cast spells with converted mana cost equal to or less than the number of lands you control without paying their mana cost. We'll snipe for food. Thank you for the 34 months of support. That's an incredibly long time. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your weekend. Then the key to leveraging this card successfully tends to be having 2 good 5-mana spells to play on the turn after you play it. So you'll play Fires of Invention on 4, sometimes play a 3 or 4 drop along with it. And the following turn you play another land and then drop 2 5s. So we got 9 5 drops here, which one of the downsides to this is it does make this archetype a little bit clunky when we don't have Fires of Invention in play. That's something that could be a real concern. Space Herring, thank you for the 2 years of support. Every card game is epic with you. 2 years and still not banned on any social media play. It's really not difficult to not get blocked or banned on my social media platforms. You just have to not be rude and not be lazy. There are 2 very simple rules to follow. Thanks for the half a year, Slow Future. Has Mythgard been retired? I don't plan to dip back into Mythgard on stream until their next set release, I don't think. So, without sponsored stuff, it's difficult to make time for smaller games. And as far as Mythgard goes, I feel like I've played out a lot of their current set. So, when they get a little bit more cards injected, I'll probably revisit. As far as this build goes, what I expect from today, I have kind of low expectations going in. We've got Damping Sphere and Hushwing Gryff as anti-combo cards in our sideboard, but overall, red-white just doesn't have a ton of, like, cheap interaction, and, like, only having a few cards that are disruptive in a lot of those matchups isn't good enough. It would seem that past Jeff... Oh, gosh, chat. All right, well, I'm not going to have to buy tickets today, but I'm going to have to take a second here. We're down to 10 chesties, chat. For those of you that have never engaged with the Magic Online economy before, I've often talked about how it costs $10 to play. It costs $10 to play in these events, so I need to turn some of my treasure chests into dollar dues because I'm out of tickets. Pomoyne, as you lose to combo today, imagine playing this deck back when Chonky Red was king. Yep. A lot of the Pioneer decks we've been playing lately are like ghosts of Pioneers past, it feels like. Oh, treasure chests are only worth 2 tickets right now. The treasure chest economy has also tanked, just like my 401k. Who doesn't love losing 10% in a week, though, really? Hashtag Trump economy, something, good economy, something. Oh, I take 11 tickets. Look at that. Yeah, Christy and I are far from retiring, so, like, it's not a huge concern for us at this current point in time, but, like, watching her 401k at work drop, like, $2,800 over the course of, like, 2 days is like, yikes. It was up 2% at one point, and then now it's like down 7.5% on the year or something like that. I'm getting there, okay? Listen, it's so inconvenient. Just like, not only do you have to wait on like them to respond to you, but like you have to like go through the effort, jumping through these hoops and finding bots. I made it through all of 2018 or all of 2019 without buying Moto tickets, and then like this year, like I'm gonna have to buy tickets almost immediately just because all these Pioneer Leagues have been an awful dumpster fire. So the thing is though, Corrosion, I agree that even if there was a Democrat in the office, the stock market would be taking a hit right now because of fears around CV-19. But Donald Trump took ownership of the upward trending economy that he inherited from Obama and claimed it as his own. So that means if he gets to lie in that case, he needs to also own this too. If he wants to take credit for ups that aren't his responsibility, he also gets to own all of the downs that also really aren't his responsibility. I actually tweeted this a little bit ago. The silver lining in all of this whole stock market disaster is we'll get to finally weed out which of the Trump supporters were actually only supporting him because of his good economy and which ones were just saying that because they knew if they said they supported him for all of the non-pleasant reasons, they would be outcast by reasonable people. Correct. Yes, exactly, Kicker. People who don't realize Trump was largely a failed businessman and were touting this as the reason to support him now lose that point. Did I hit a YouTube channel milestone? Oh, we hit a Twitch milestone. The Twitch channel hit 6.5 million views this week. It's a decent pickup. It'll get to block a little bit, even if this one does fly, and if we can find some angels, it'll give us some life. Having increased numbers of sick and dead people hurt the economy. Yeah, it hurts communities too. But yeah. Yeah, while I agree that, I think that almost assuredly we'd have some kind of downturn if a Democrat was in office still, the response would likely be better. They wouldn't have slowly dismantled and defunded the CDC, among other things, over the course of the last 3 years. We're just dead here, right? Like, I don't have any sweepers in my main deck. I can't come back from the Steel Overseer. Even without a Stubborn Denial, we're just super dead there. Alright, so we have some decent cards here post-board. We get to bring in Deafening Clarion, we get to bring in Deck and Stone, we get to bring in Wear Tear. I think Gideon of the Trials is pretty bad. They just go wide. This is good against things that are trying to punk you out because it has its emblem text, and it's also reasonable against things that are decks that are deploying single threats. Dawn of Hope seems pretty slow and clunky, and then I probably want to cut one piece of top end up here. Let's make it a Cavalier. Oh, come on now, Stacko. You don't want the religious zealot who denies science managing the response to a potential outbreak of something? Are you telling me that person's not qualified? Feels magic, man. Oh, I love me a little Magic the Gathering in the mornings, chat. Really makes me feel something. Really just reminds me that I'm still here and kicking. That's why we play the game, right? We play the game to feel something. No, I watch Colbert pretty regularly, Stormy Waters, so I watched that the day after it was posted. It's a good clip to highlight, though. It was when I saw it, like, it's refreshing to see someone, like, on the other side who, like, saying the same thing that I personally identified. Like, what he said there about Warren is exactly why I ended up landing on Bernie. And, like, how much Warren had, like, moved and repositioned herself, like, already this cycle. Like, if she got the nom, which is looking unlikely, but if she got the nom, I would not trust her to not move further center as the general went on. So, I mean, like, Deck and Stone here, like, feels good, but, like, they're getting 2 clues, but, like, those cards are probably going to draw more than 1 card each, so I think this is a fine use of Deck and Stone. Is Declan's middle name Instone? It is not. Oh, no! Oh, no! We gave them scissors, chat. We gave them scissors. Yeah, I agree. The fact that Bernie's, like, a no-nonsense ideas guy. Also, like, while I think I think I'm supposed to bottom this. I think I need, like, a high-impact 5 next turn. Although I guess if I don't die next turn, I can play this, and then the following turn I can pay. Nah, I think I just need a good 5-drop next turn. Or a piece of removal or something for this. I think keeping that would be greedy. Max owns the world, thanks for the 17 months. Brandy Savage, thank you for the 17 months. One of the things I think is key with Bernie is that a lot of the issues he wants to address, a lot of people who identify as conservative, they also want a lot of those things addressed, even if they don't want them necessarily addressed in the way Bernie wants to accomplish them. Like, complaining about their health insurance is probably, or lack thereof in some cases, is probably one of the things I heard most often at family parties from relatives I know are conservative. It just baffles me that you can complain that much about your health care, or lack thereof, and, like, still vote Republican. The variance in the potions is high if you're looking at it on a cycle to cycle, but, like, if you're doing, like, 10 runs, you can kind of average it out, what you can expect to get from doing 10 runs. It's not predictable for what you can expect to get for, like, 2 or 3 runs, though, you're right. I think Steel Overseer is really good in the opponent's deck. It's a must-answer threat that takes over the board very quickly. Voting against your own best interest in Republican tradition. Yep. Well, so I don't think it's necessarily fair to say they're just explicitly voting against their own best interest, because they are doing that. I think it's more so that fear-mongering and hatred for those who are different than themselves just, like, trumps, for lack of a better word, their desire to actually get things that could benefit them, or improve things that could benefit them. Great. This could be what we need, depending on what's in their hand. If this gets shrapnel blasted here, we're dead. Yeah. Yeah, they can't, they just can't take, yeah, I don't get it, Navier. The fear-mongering is strong, I guess, is the TLDR. We've been run with scissors. Max, if you gotta click the 3 dots in the corner and hit open in browser. The Twitch mobile app on Android has a security feature that doesn't work with URL shorteners. Yes, we gave them 2 clues, and they thoroughly used them against us. And I kind of feel like that was a good example of, like, a deck like this, I feel like doesn't even explicitly get hedged out by Combo Winter, so much as it's just kinda clunky. Like, the last opponent's deck isn't a new deck that popped up with Theros. It was very good before that happened, and some of this format was going to get pushed out regardless of Combo Winter. Combo Winter definitely pushed out more, I think. Man, this is, well, I don't think this deck is necessarily stellar. Our opening hands so far today have not been particularly kind to us either. Good lord. Do I show them what we're playing, or do I concede and go to the next one? I think I'm supposed to concede and go to the next one. I don't think there's value. I don't think there's value in showing them what we're doing. Yeah, we're not winning this game on 4 cards, right? I think again Chad comes out because he's not particularly good against decks that go wide. Bring in Deck and Stone and Clarion and click submit. You live in Cambridge, down the street from Elizabeth Warren, but the only people who knocked on my door are Bernie canvassers. Yep. That's why. The worst thing about... The thing that's really frustrated me with Warren supporters that engage with my tweet about progressives uniting behind Bernie is that people keep parroting this idea that Warren is more appealing to moderates, but I really don't think that's true. And like the exit polls in Nevada showed that based on the people that they polled there, that's not true. Like Warren just kind of does worse with everyone. I feel like Warren tried to position herself as like a moderate progressive, which like alienated many progressives like myself, and also still isn't appealing to moderates. Alright, there's like 26 lands in this deck, right? I feel bad, because like, this set's kind of, but like, I had low expectations going in, but so far the variance in this set's been a little unreal. Dragon Tamer, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back, I appreciate you keeping me around. Seems not bad. 3 lands, our colors, 2-drop, 3-drop. In. Snap it off. It's a sneaper keeper. Do 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 do. Do I want to deck this one Blood-Soaked Champion in Stone? I feel like the answer is no, just because it only has 2 attack and I can block with my Angel. That is an ABBA song at Super Trooper, right? That's Super Trooper by ABBA, I believe. Well, I don't think it's fair to claim Mexico's gonna pay for our healthcare. Like, Mexico's already paying for a wall, so maybe Bernie should say, like, Canada is going to pay for our healthcare. That'll work, right? A bunch of people voted for lies like that. I think I'm just going to deck this now because they know about it, so they're less likely to play into it at this point. Alright, plays around a discard spell too, which is nice. Sweet. Cleverly left a good card on top of our deck. Morning Troll. Woof. Well, it was a good one. I say that attack would be really bad. So they attack with this. They make us sack Bishop. They sack Bloodsoaked Champion. Again, just getting pretty picked apart by a deck that's not even decked like a combo deck from this winter. Our deck just feels pretty underpowered overall. Infinite Obliteration. Yep. It is a long time. Raymondrus. Well, if we would have had a land, we'd have been okay here, but we're just dead to this wrinkle. It's just gonna hit us every turn and make us discard, and just can't do anything. What are the vibes? I don't really know. I don't really consume a lot of mainstream media, and like I don't really interact with humans outside of you here in Twitch chat. And some of you in Twitch chat are bots, right? Almost assuredly some of you are bots. It's like modern Sun and Moon, except you don't occasionally win by blood booting your opponent. Yep. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, like, the only time I leave the house chat is, like, acquire groceries or, like, go to the gym. Christy said she looked at Walmart yesterday for face masks and they were sold out of face masks. Although, from my understanding, you can, like, contract the coronavirus through your eyes even. Like, it's that contagious. I don't know if that's true. So if that's true, I feel like face masks probably aren't that helpful. Any opening, huh? Okay. Most face masks are for keeping sick people from spreading germs, not for stopping germs from getting in. Okay, that's a good metric to think about. That's fair. So they're like stop people from coughing and sneezing and spreading it. That makes a lot of sense. Just because I have trouble with captchas and can't identify crosswalks doesn't make me a robot. I mean, 2.5% kill rate is like really high by modern standards, Garden Variety Troll. Like 1 in 50 people contracting. Yeah, that's like 5 times as much as the flu. And from my understanding, we don't really have good complete data surrounding that yet, because a lot of the information surrounding it has come out of China, all of which needs to be taken with a grain of salt, because the Chinese government could potentially be hiding some information there. Sure, but like not the bubonic plague is like, that's like a low bar, right? Oh god, they're this stupid. Oh god. Oh, I just had a Trump supporter tweet at me that it's the Dems' fault that the markets are dropping. Oh god. Oh, chat, they're so dumb. Oh no. Oh, not the deep state, chat. The deep state's coming for all of us, chat. Obama's really still president. It was him the whole time. He's coming for your guns, chat. Oh. It's really important to remember situations like that when you're trying to interact with Trump supporters. They're not working based in reality. Facts don't matter. If you're ever inclined to try and sway someone who's still voting Trump to not vote Trump, just don't. Instead, take that amount of effort and can use it to convince 3 or 4 people who don't vote that they should start voting. It's a much better use of your time. What is the deep state? The deep state is a conspiracy theory that there's people within the government that secretly control it that aren't the president. Correct, BJ. Forget the one markedly good thing about the Trump presidency was that he inherited an upward trending economy from Obama and hadn't fully managed to destroy it. So if that gets destroyed, it removes one of the few positive things non-racists can say about his presidency. Obama's going to take your guns is the most effective sales slogan ever. Gun sales dropped 40. Do you have a source on that, Dig? I would love to have a source on that. I would love to see that as a real metric. That would be one I'd tweet at some point in the future, because that's a good one. Trump is very good at inheritance. One could say he has the bigliest, best inheritance you've ever seen. Man, are they really gonna kill us on 4? It seems a little bit aggressive that they're like going off here, because like I'm not threatening to kill them anytime soon, right? That's because a lot of the people that supported Trump, Ace Tiger, aren't bright enough to understand how trends work. And the ones that are bright enough were acting in bad faith, because that's why they voted for Trump, even though they're bright, because they were acting in bad faith. Alright, well, they didn't do the thing last turn, but they have an Underworld Breach. Again, I'm playing a red-white mid-range deck with no Thoughtseize, no counterspells, so I can just play a thing and attack here, but I assume we're dead next turn. Thanks, AGH. Correct, Returning Dawn. And for people that don't understand trends, it'll be a tough thing to overcome. That's funny, Dig. Yeah, there's someone just linked it to me. There's literally this is 2016 and this is 2017. To be fair, 2016 was extra high, it looks like, for some reason. We're busy. Sorry for showing that. We're busy dying over here. My opponent's taking turns. We have an extra long Pioneer segment today. I believe we have an extra long Pioneer segment tomorrow. Yeah, that's you're looking at Saturday, Redlocks. The schedule on my website starts on Monday. So tomorrow I'm doing a double Pioneer morning. It's because they were afraid of Hillary. That's funny. People are gearing up for a civil war. There were a lot of people that said if Trump didn't win, they were going to grab their guns, so that's fair. We're deterministically done at this point, right? Are we 0-3 now? I feel like we're 0-3 and I can move on with my life. Oh no, this is only game 1. All right, sweet. We spent so much time losing there, I forgot how many games we'd played. So, Wear Tear isn't that good in this matchup, but I think we're still supposed to board it in because sometimes it's good enough. So, Wear Tear isn't good enough in the event that they have a backup. In the event that they have a backup Underworld Breach in the bin, but they don't always have that. And Damping Sphere is obviously very good because it makes it hard for them to cast multiple spells in a turn. Yeah, you can always see what decks are going to be coming up later today in the deck queue on my website. So the stream title lists the decks I plan to play in the order in which I plan to play them. And then the deck queue has links to those deck lists available. Stream title adds the archetypes, and then specific lists are in the queue. All right, this hand's very good. We've got Damping Sphere into Gideon of the Trials, into Chandra. Like, if we draw lands 3-4, this hand's probably one of our better chances to win. So you get to emblem this right away. So, Gideon emblem here says, as long as we control a Chad, they can't win the game and we can't lose the game. So they need to get rid of this. They also need to get rid of this. This also is a 4/4 that attacks every turn. So this disruption combined with this pressure should hopefully be enough to win the game. Play another 4-power creature out here. And then we'll probably just hold up Wear Tear for the rest of the game. We have 8 power in play. Wow, Blast Zone is good. Woof. So this not only kills Chad, but it kills my Bonecrusher Giant too. Alright, now we really need to draw land so we can get Chandra down. I guess the good news is they don't have Lotus Field set up yet. Like, in addition to answering our threats and our Dampening Sphere, they need to get Lotus Field and Thespian Stage. And I can't play out Resplendent Angel because this Blast Zone's like almost assuredly going to 3, right? So, didn't hit a land, just passed here. They might kill Wet Ball, that's fair. Yeah, it looks like they're killing Damping Sphere. Sure. In Raid, what's better for gear, stars, or rarity? Stars are better. So the star of an item dictates how good the bonuses it provides gives Fuzzy Thantos. The rarity dictates how many substats it has when it's at level 0. So as far as like end game style or mid to end game style is concerned, you don't really want to level up gear heavily until you have like 5 and 6 star gear. So it's okay to like level up some of your earlier gear because you'll need it for the start of the game, but I wouldn't recommend leveling anything less than like 4 stars to 16, and mostly you want to put 5-star things, 5 and 6-star things to 16. All right, they're going to 4 here. And then I guess the question is, I think I just hold up Wear Tear, right? Playing Chandra is silly. I think playing Chandra is silly, and I just pass here. Yeah, yep, Texas. All of the percentage gear gets to 60 at level 16 if it's 6 stars. It's really good. 5-star gets up to 50%. Yes, both of them are really, really good. Yeah, leveling lower gear to 12 is fine. I just wouldn't spend the gold to silver take it to 16. Taking gear to 16 takes forever. Takes a lot of gold, or a lot of silver, whatever it's called. Okay, let's see if they have another one here, if this is good enough. Like I said when we were sideboarding, there are some games where like a Wear Tear is good enough and you get them because of it, but there's other where it's not good enough. No, it's pretty light on the PC Garden Variety Troll. It's optimized to run on cell phones, and like the PC client is like just a PC port of the mobile client. Son of Sam, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. All right, they found a stage. I think a mana should not be dead here. Since I started playing Silly Cheese, it came out like 2 months ago, I think, if you check their Twitter timeline. If you click my referral link that comes up in chat on a PC, it takes you to the PC download link. Yeah, they're all tied together, Crockett. I think I'm happy with how we sideboarded. Brought in all the disruptive tools we have. Yeah, spending gems on energy is fine if you're looking to grind towards something. If I'm not like looking to play an insane amount and grind out something in specific, I usually just take my energy running out as a sign to go do something else. Yeah, only 3 pieces of disruption, 2 threats. To be fair, one of our threats was also disruption. One of our threats doubled up there. I think this probably isn't good enough. It like needs to specifically drawing a land, a white source, and even then, like, I think I mulligan for like a Wear Chair or a Damping Sphere here or better mana. And like this isn't good enough even though it's mana, right? Like I need a hate piece. I think I keep this and just like hope to have a land for Gideon. If you're going to spend money on raid, the battle pass is the best purchase. It'll give you the most stuff for the least amount of money, and it gives you extra missions to go do, which, you know, I'm all about progress, doing little things to like have goals. So we're looking for not only a 3rd land tier, but also like a Damping Sphere or a Wear Chair. Right, that's fantastic. So we're gonna aggressively look for our other pieces of permanent based hate or disruption, bottoming anything that's not. So we'll stomp their face here, and then we'll play Gideon next turn, I believe. I see you, troll. I'm just going to go ahead and stomp their face to get my auto pass value in here. YouTube viewer, wanted to drop off my Prime. Been watching a lot of videos since my 14-month-old has been in the hospital. Listening to your rants about healthcare makes me appreciate that I'm in Canada. Well, I hope everything turns out okay with your 14-month-old SD, and I appreciate you dropping off that Prime. Hope your weekend is swell. Perfect. All right, so now the real question is, do I jam Gids? I think I'm supposed to jam Gids before Damping Sphere. I think we're pretty unlikely to die next turn, famous last words. And Gideon is not only a disruptive element, but he's also a clock. And like killing the opponent is just as important as disrupting them in matches like this. Hey, BJ, thank you for re-upping that Prime for the 2nd month. And thanks again for your absurd donation during the charity stream. That reminds me, BJ, you were the top donor at the end of it. I've not messaged people for giveaway stuff yet. Life's been crazy. I'm going to plan to do that Sunday, I think, which is a little bit longer than I was expecting, but people can wait for their free stuff. So if you'd like a playmat and some tokens from me, I'd love to thank you for making that big donation. Drop me a message with your mailing address. And then other folks who donated, I'm going to be rolling the winners and contacting them on Sunday afternoon. I'm taking Sunday off. We're in a pretty okay spot here. Not unlosable by any means, but 2 pieces of permanent base disruption and okay clock. We're going to add more pressure to the table next turn. The only way our position can really get better is if we, like, draw a wear tear like we had last game. Again, this game really kind of highlighting in my mind how similar to Modern this format has gotten. We didn't have a lot of cards in our hand to start, but we mulligan to our key cards and sideboard cards, so we're in an okay position. And that really exemplifies to me that kind of Modern style gameplay, which is where your quantity of cards don't really matter so much as having the right specific cards in a given matchup is the most important. It's not a format that's about grinding advantage. It's a format that's about having your bullets. Hey, will do, BJ. Morning, Rang Tangy. And today and tomorrow are going to be longer streams. Slow and steady, Beansy. You're at 435k shillings. We've been doing shillings since October. It's the end of February, so October, November, December, January, February. So yeah, so it takes about a year of regular watching to hit Shillionaire. That makes sense. Chef Seth, thank you for the 23 months. Welcome back. For those of you that are accruing shillings slower than Beansy, I'm not surprised. Beansy's here all the time. Don't worry. I'm planning to be here for as long as y'all keep me here. So if it takes folks more than a year, we'll still be here to hand that out. Beverly Hills, that's where you want to be. Just shilling in Beverly Hills. So, I'm pretty sure when they actually combo off here, this Gideon emblem just doesn't matter. Usually they have a bounce spell or they have enough mana to just Ugin you. But they don't have a second Lotus Field here yet, so we might be okay. We'll see. I don't think we're just dead. They don't have many cards in their graveyard either, so we're going to hang out and see where they go. Hey, Jenchik, thanks for re-upping that Prime for the second month. Welcome back. I appreciate that. Yes, I did, Frantic Reverend. If you look, I believe I threw it in the deck queue. Oh, you know what happened? The deck queue, I don't know what it is about Google Docs, but like my on change macro just like randomly doesn't work sometimes. So it was there, but it hadn't auto sorted. So I have a little spreadsheet wizardry on my sheet that auto sorts it each day whenever I adjust the point values, and sometimes it doesn't auto sort. Was that a good draw, chat? Was that a good draw? Remember that time I was talking to chat and talking about my spreadsheet, and then I forgot to play out this Bonecrusher Giant before Damping Sphere? That's fine, because Damping Sphere is like a nut draw here, so whatever, but Def should have played the Bonecrusher Giant first. The Bonecrusher Giant currently costs 4 because I played Damping Sphere for the turn. Hopefully we're going to win anyways, but I definitely deserve to lose if we do. So it's technically the same clock, but it's a different clock if they interact with Lyra, especially with the Chandra on top of my deck. If Bonecrusher was in play, Bonecrusher plus Chandra would be lethal next turn. So now they only need to disrupt Lyra, which is relevant. Hey, welcome back, Jack Frost. It's good to have you here. And yeah, this is relevant, right? Screw shillings, I'm a real whale. Yeah, golden whale. I appreciate you, Beetle. I mean, in my defense, we topped the Chandra, right? We scryed last turn. Look at that. Are we on the scoreboard? Look at that, chat. Combo winter ain't so cold. Just be professional and draw your sideboard cards. Look at that. We thought we were going to 0-3. Don't call it a comeback. Let's 3-2 this bad mamma jamma. How do you see your progress towards the next bit badge? I believe you should be able to click on the bit somewhere and see what it says. I believe when you click on the cheer thing, it should tell you your progress towards the next badge. I believe. Cool, cool. I don't actually see that interface on my end, but others have told me that. It's like the first match of Pioneer we've won in a week. Hey, we 3-2'd with White Devotion. Thank you very much. Okay, I need to make a note to buy Moto tickets. Anybody watching the stream have Moto tickets they want to sell? Yeah, it's in over a year. I didn't buy any tickets in 2019. I watch you in the morning, so I don't have to waste money on Moto tickets. Yep. Yep. That's fine. I'll probably just buy Moto tickets from the store, so that way I have a receipt for tracking purposes, for taxes, because they're a write-off. Yeah, I think we've 3-2'd or better, like, 2 leagues out of the last 10 or so. Yeah, it's been brutal. Okay. That. Lands and spells? What is this wizardry? Yes, 3-2 makes a $2 profit. So you get your $10 back that you put in, plus a treasure chest that is worth between 2 and 2.5 tickets, depending on the economy. Because, you know, having the in-game economy dictate what your prizes are worth is good. When you go 2-3 in a league, you get $5 back. Yeah, I really wonder when we get cube on Magic Arena, and that's definitely a when we get cube, not an if we get cube. When we get a cube on Arena, I wonder if that'll be one of the final nails in Magic Online. Because I feel like cube has to be the biggest moneymaker, because the rake on it is huge, right? The rake on cube on Moto is absurd. Alright, looks like the black-white enchantments deck. You need to go 2-1 in cube to make your money back. Yikes. Three-0 gets a 50% profit all in play points. Woof. Oh, so you can never actually turn a profit on cube. You can only, like, pay it forward into other events. That's brutal. That's why, even though I 3-0 a cube every year, I don't go all in on the cube. Gotta get my value by grinding my constructed leagues, chat. Everybody knows it's all about the value. Every time they cast an enchant creature, they get to draw a card. And like again, I feel like this is doing a good job of highlighting that our deck is both simultaneously not particularly linear and also not particularly interactive. It'll be kind of amusing and kind of a good example of why this archetype's probably a little bit weak overall if we like lose to all aggro decks and like actually beat the combo decks we play. That's true. I only play cube when I'm a guaranteed winner, when people send me a pile of money. I mean, to be fair, Rang, we had a lot of disruption in the games we played. All right, this was actually an incredible draw here. So, like, if we draw a land next turn, we get to play Kenrith, play Cavalier, activate Kenrith, which triggers Resplendent Angel. I'm gonna go ahead and kill Saram here. So if we can draw a land, we're gonna probably win this game. Hey Charles, thanks for the 20 months. Welcome back. I appreciate you keeping me around. Yep. Feels bad, man. Yeah, but playing a spell for mana doesn't let me have a good big turn. So in order to have a big turn, I need to draw a land. Also, like, they're probably attacking Chandra, and I don't want to chump block, so Chandra's not likely to live. Any land here is absurd for us. Nothing says Magic the Gathering like needing to draw any land and then drawing another 5-drop and dying. It really exemplifies and embodies the Magic the Gathering incredibly low variance experience. All right, do they have another power-up enchantment? They do! Look at that, we're dead. Yay, Magic. All right, so Deccan Stones, Clarions, Wear Chairs. Archangel out, Dawn of Hope out. I think Gideon's actually probably okay here because their deck tries to suit up one particularly large thing. Bishop of Wings doesn't really block profitably. I'm going to leave my 5-drops in actually and cut all these bishops. I don't want to trim too much of my top end and make my fires bad. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. Hey, thanks for your 11 months, HN here in Q. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Almost to that swingy sword and the shield. Something that I need to brainstorm on that we've got plenty of time to figure out is what is my 5-year sub badge going to be? The 4 years, so there's the progression right now is you get a shield along with your mod sword, then you get a horse because you're a knight, then you get a map that marks a plot of land, then you get a castle to put on your plot of land. I'm not quite sure what I want after the castle. Maybe we could continue being high fantasy and give people dragons. Could be dragons. So thrones and crowns don't work because thrones and crowns are the bit badge symbols. So I feel like I want the sub badge track to be like knighthood style track. Yeah, a dragon or something for their castle could be good. A dragon head would probably be easy enough to represent. If Bernie randomly dropped out today, would you support a different Democrat? Who would it be? Yeah, Warren's probably my number 2 at this point. My number 2 was Yang before he dropped out. But I don't expect Bernie to drop before Warren. It just doesn't make sense. The way I had a discussion on Twitter about this earlier with someone today. I actually ended up giving money to Warren's campaign before I donated to Bernie this election cycle, but then I ended up landing on Bernie because of how Warren's pivoted as the election cycle's gone on. And I've definitely I'm glad I've landed on Bernie the longer this election cycle's gone on. I definitely don't feel like I trust Liz to not move her positions more in the general election. I feel like she feels to me like one of the people who, historically speaking, will move more center to try and be appealing to moderates as opposed to sticking to. At 5 years, you should get affordable healthcare. Listen, in the fantasy realm of Hoaglandia, we have affordable healthcare. Everybody's covered. Hoaglandia is one of those fantasy realms, every other developed country in the world. Denmark, UK, etc. Took an MTG break during Eldraine, but I've enjoyed Theros so far coming back. Enjoyed my commentary. What would you try out now if you were participating competitively since Green Black Knights didn't feel hot for you yesterday? I honestly don't know, Raisin. So, as always, I keep the decks on my website pretty regularly updated. So I think any of the decks up there that look appealing to you, I think are reasonably competitive. But as far as, pure spike content's concerned, if you're a pure spike as opposed to someone looking to brew a little bit, the pure spike deck this format is almost certainly blue-white control. I think that's inarguably the best deck in the format. So the way the primary works for people that don't understand, and it's confusing, so I don't blame you if you don't understand, is that in order to win the primary, you don't just need the most votes in the primary, you need 51% of the vote. If a single candidate, because there's so many people running, it's unlikely that a single candidate, even Bernie's going to get 51%. They go into what's called a brokered convention, where the candidates essentially wheel and deal with each other, and another layer of things called super delegates are introduced, which get to vote and impact the outcome. Blue-white control is a slog. Agree with that. As a heads up, Raisin, the payoff for getting top 1200 next month is very low. So how it works, that's great, Toe Smasher. How it works now on Arena is every other month qualifies you for a tournament that qualifies you for the Invitational, and then the in-between months qualify you for what I've been lovingly referring to as the Gem CQ, which the Gem CQ is what I'm qualified for this month. And the Gem CQ, it's happening tomorrow. If you go undefeated, go 10-0 in the Gem CQ, you get $10 worth of in-game currency. It's not a good look. So for comparison's sake, on the months where you're qualifying for an invitational, going 10-0 gets you an invite worth thousands of real dollars, potentially $100,000. And on the other month, if you go 10-0, you get $10 worth of in-game currency, not even 10 real dollars. So the variance difference there is, You know, Magic's always been top heavy, but to have the event swing that much month to month is like comical at best. If you go 10-0 in Moto Leagues, you get more rewards. Huh? Yeah, definitely. So actually, for comparison's sake, if you go 10-0 in 2 Moto Leagues, view prizes, you get, going 10-0 in 2 Moto Leagues would get you an extra $10 of in-game Moto credit. It would also get you 22, it would also get you $50 worth of treasure chests. So you get the same thing you get for going 10-0 in the arena thing, but you also get $50, and you can play a Moto League whenever you want, and you also get Mox qualifier points to qualify you for another thing. So just again, like the stark difference in competitive play between Arena and Magic Online on display as always. I guess. The difference is you paid money to join the league on Moto. They're both bad. Yeah, but like to play in the event on Magic Arena, you had to pay a lot of time, right? Like it's not a small amount of time to get to the top 1200. So, it's not fair to say that giving out more digital currency costs them nothing. There is a very real opportunity cost associated with giving players free stuff. There is a chance that some of the stuff you give those players for free is stuff that they were going to spend money on if you didn't give it to them for free. So you're losing that money. There's also the argument to be made that players who qualify for that tournament are hooked on Magic anyways, and they don't need to really reward them because those players are going to be there playing regardless. Which that could be a real argument. Like, how many players who get to the top 1200 are going to realistically stop playing Arena because the prizes are bad? The number's really small, right? If any. They shattered my sky, chat. My poor skies. Let's get Nahiri going. Got rewarded for holding this other Fires of Invention here. This month might be the first month I don't top 1200 when there's a reward for doing so, in large part just because the reward for doing so is pretty minimal. Your horse is amazing, Space Harrying. Alright, can I have my angel back, please? Thanks. Yeah, I got to do the thing here. Pump up the jam. We're 1-3, so we found our way into the mid-range bracket. So they get to give Angel of Thune the dirty D here, but then, like, Nahiri gets to just exile their D-sphere, right? Rats. Sick. Swish. Swish! Something, skill game, something, better player always wins. Nailed it. Yep. Listen, we had a lot of bad luck to start this league. So this is us just cashing in our cumulative variance, okay? So, we'll get to gain 6 here and draw 2 cards now. Alright, we finally found us a bad mid-range opponent, chat. And we get to do the thing. Yeah, we might get 5 of our dollars back here. Okay. We're sending an angel to the Shadow Realm here. Yeah, Dawn of Hope's a neat way to leverage our mana that we're not spending thanks to fires. Howdy, Naya. Have a removal spell here? Nope. Sweet. Want to put a card on top, so maybe they're not dead next turn. So we'll stack this, so we'll draw cards before we put 1/1 counters on, because depending on what we draw, we might want to make a token before we get a counter. Yeah, I can draw First Time Lord to see what we get here. Wait, oh no! Oh, I punted. I have auto yields, yeah. Forgot to turn off the auto yield. That's fine. It'll be okay. What do I think of Croquis? I think Croquis is an excellent content producer who's a good source of competitive focused MTG content. And if you are looking for spike-based constructed content, he would be one of my top recommendations. That's not too useful when we have Dawn of Hope going, right? I thought this was the real Spike Channel. No, not even a little. Not even the teensiest of bits. How's Pioneer going this morning? We are 1-3. We found another mid-range deck in the 1-3 bracket, so maybe we have a shot at finishing 2-3. His Twitch chat is a very typical large Twitch chat. He's one of the largest streamers in the Magic community at this point, and his chat is what you could expect from any large Twitch chat, regardless of the community. Yeah, almost assuredly, Ray Moostros. That's great, Taddeo. His chat is toxic then, y'all. Yes. Large groups of humans in spaces that are largely unmoderated tend to err on the side of obnoxious and toxic. Remember, chat, Who you are when there are no repercussions for your actions and no accountability is who you really are. What you do when no one is watching or no one can punish you for what you're doing, that's who you are as a person. Lots of people are genuinely awful human beings. It's just they understand that if they show that in person, that they'll be rightfully shunned for being one. They're awful, but they understand what society expects of them. Yeah, we can emblem with Chad, but it doesn't really matter. Hopefully they're just dead here. Even if they don't, even if they like manage to answer everything we have on board, I have Kenrith in hand with haste now. Negative, be direct. I also know that the What the Deck series, I believe, is like an official WotC sponsored thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if I'm on some kind of no list for that, if they have some control over who he's able to work with. Sean's also an excellent content producer. He's not spike-based content, though. He's more fun, casual-focused stuff like what I do. A number of smaller streams can often have good chats. I think it's when you start hitting, like, at least in the Magic community, when you start hitting, like, mid-hundreds consistency, like 500-600, that if you're not moderating, things tend to go to crap. Yeah, Sean's chat is sub only, which helps it stay upbeat and positive. And not only that, but like Sean's attitude in general, I feel like encourages people to stay upbeat and positive. He kind of just like gives off this aura of goodness. He's always excited to be doing what he's doing when he's on stream. This is definitely an assemble the Legion matchup. We played the Yawgmoth combo deck in Modern at one point, and it was so bad I don't think we uploaded it to YouTube. We just got completely dumpstered by the Urza deck. That was before the Mox Opal banning, I believe, though. Casual focused Spike is actually, I think, a pretty good descriptor of what we do here. I often describe myself as a competitive casual. Like, we're doing our best to try and make optimal decisions within the restrictions that we've given ourselves. And like, even when I traveled to play a lot of competitive Magic, I did that, right? Like, when I showed up to play SCG Opens, I wasn't doing it with the best decks in the format, right? Like, I was showing up with Kiki Cord and like trying to maximize Kiki Cord with what I could. Oh, I want Wear Tear against their enchantment deck too, right? These bishops just don't seem very good. We'll trim those. Let's give this a go. Yeah, Marty, the original build you posted looked very similar to the Red-Black Titan deck I've played in Standard. And we actually played a variation of it in Historic at one point, and calls Croxa into Calls the Dead is definitely like super, like they're both good cards and they're good together as well. And that's the key to playing synergy decks in Magic in 2020, is your cards that have synergy are fine, but if they're individually good too, you tend to have something that's very powerful. Opponent. No fire, no steel. So, like, they're not really roping on Moto, because, like, Moto gives you infinite clock time, which you almost never need. And for people that aren't familiar with the Moto clock, it's just a timer. There's no individual action rope. So, like, you could walk away from your computer for 5 minutes, come back, and continue your match, and your opponent's just left waiting there. Just change your timer to 0? I mean, alright, I'll try it out. Easy game, easy life. Hello? My time is now LOL. Can you explain why Mana Confluence is in our deck? I'd assume Mana Confluence is in our deck because our deck has both triple red cards while also simultaneously trying to play double white cards on 3. Ever tried G Fuel? I don't really do energy drinks. As far as caffeine goes, I consume... well, I don't consume much caffeine anymore because I can't drink anything other than water while I have my Invisalign in. But pre-Invisalign, I drank a lot of Pure Leaf iced tea, which this stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by Pure Leaf, but Pure Leaf, if you're out there, it certainly could be. As far as soda goes, I never really did energy drinks, but I do, I like cherry soda, cherry Coke, cherry Pepsi. Sugar is terrible for you? Yeah, but it's delicious, and I only get to live once, so, you know. YOLO. Cake is delicious. So fun cake story. When Jake got home from school yesterday, we went to the grocery store. And at the grocery store, there was this little cheesecake in a dish. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally going to get that. And we'll just have it after a couple of different meals. We eat a little bit here and there. Definitely got home and ate the entire thing of cheesecake in one sitting. Because I'm American, chat. This morning, Sanders overtook Biden in a Fox News poll for the first time ever and is listed as a 7-point lead over Trump. It's important to understand that 7-point leads are still within margin of errors. Usually the margin of error is somewhere between 3 to 5% on those polls. So while it's nice to look at and see that whatever Democrat is ahead has a lead, it's important to make sure you still get out and vote and that you encourage others to do the same. If you've never sat down and had an entire multi-serving dessert in one sitting, are you even an American? Asking the real questions. He could be ahead by 17 points. He could also be down by a little. Radiant Fountain, draw a card with my Dawn of Hope. That's sick. Yeah, that's also important to remember. It isn't going to be like the popular vote doesn't matter. So just because he's ahead in the popular vote, it's not super relevant. They're dead, right? Oh, no, they're not, because I can't cast that many spells. So we can do this, give this haste. If I would have killed this at end of turn, they'd have been dead. Ate half a dozen cookies with a glass of milk. Listen, Girl Scout season is rough, okay? There's lots of delicious cookies everywhere. Usually from a technically correct sense, City of Brass is better, because you can make mana with City of Brass and then gain life in response to its trigger. Confluence is better with Urborg, that's true. So like again, the texture matters. So with Urborg, Mana Confluence can tap pain-free, which is relevant. As far as this is concerned, I feel like that set was a good example of why, even if we weren't currently experiencing combo winter, this archetype wouldn't be particularly good. In fact, I think you could probably make the argument that this deck is better against some of these combo decks than some of the good aggro decks, just because, like, the way we got beat up by, like, the black aggro deck, for example, I felt was a really good, clean showing of how, even though our deck has some tools that are good against these aggressive decks, the fact that the aggro decks can grind out, as well as just the fact that our deck has this very real failure rate because it has this high land count and a lot of really expensive spells in it. Yeah, so overall, I felt like the amount of interaction this deck had was kind of middling, and its overall power level and consistency felt like it came up a little bit short. All right, at any rate, we are going to go ahead and dive on into some Magic Arena for the next segment of the stream. We've got 3 decks I'm planning to play today. We're going to kick off with some Sultai midrange and Historic. I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get everything flipped over and set up for that. We'll be back in just a few minutes with some Historic. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere. Hey, Charles. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Sure, thanks for the tip. I guess that's not a welcome back. Let me take a peek there. Where's my dashboard? Can you put this on Black Red Titan? I definitely can. That'll get added after I'm all done streaming today. Means we'll probably play some Titan tomorrow. Hey, good luck, Remoose. Dow dropped another 1,000 points this morning. Yikes. Glad I wasn't set to retire anytime soon.